My dear, dear, dear friend Susan, a lovely, lovely soul, with quite active in helping our animal brothers, an amazing, compassionate soul, does so much for people but especially animals is one of the passions. So the question, of course, is why do humans behave so cruel? Geez, I think we all ask ourselves that, especially those of us that are very sensitive, from birth, and I mean, we all ask that at some point, but some of us really struggle with it. Yeah, why can humans be so cruel? Well, it's the answer to it all, really. Fear. Like everything else man does that's harmful, it doesn't serve him, or at least doesn't appear to serve us. It serves us to ascend and become more, but in the everyday realities, that doesn't serve us and that causes suffering, causes others suffering, causes the planet suffering, it's from fear. It all comes from fear. All kinds of fears, but when you cut through all those fears, they all point to a core fear, I feel. And that's what I've identified as the fear of the unknown. Because if we truly accepted what we are and where we are, there's no reason to be afraid. We can just enjoy life. Because we're infinite beings, so we got nothing to lose here. This is just an extra little vacation on our cosmic, whatever, infinite trip existence. This is just a little vacation that we're taking a little too seriously. We're in this holographic wonderland, planet Ocean here, and we're confused of where we are and what's going on, and so we're afraid of what we don't know. We're afraid of course, we live in the past and we worry about the future, but all that stems from fear, the fear of the unknown. We want to control. We look to the past because when things were good, we want it back and we want to stay there. We don't want things to change. So it's a resistance of change, which is the fear of the unknown. So that's the core of it all. We're always resisting what is, and we're resisting the nature of the universe, which is change, because we're afraid of the unknown. And so everything we do is a reflection of that, because there's no competition needed here in planet Ocean. There's enough space, beauty, medicine, entertainment, food, everything. There's enough for everybody, and anybody that states otherwise has an agenda or is well, anyways, I'm not, that's my opinion, but take a real good look, folks. There's enough for everybody. There's still so much space not used, so much space wasted. The way we use all the resources, we waste it, and there's endless renewable resources. We could be living, check out the Venus Project, by the way, venusproject.com. It's a must. Go check it out. The answers are there. Anyways, everything we need is here, and we're in these blessed, incredible shells that can heal. We knew the minute we created the placebo, and we've seen it when people cure themselves all the time. We see it. Except for triage, we don't need the medicine we see today, because I should say medicine, exactly. We don't need medicine. We don't need the current medical system, because it keeps us sick. They're good for when we get in accidents or things where you need, triage, but beyond that, they don't help us or heal us or cure us. They actually keep us sick, because it's money-oriented and drug company. And it's not necessary to begin with. And we see more healers are going into natural healing, where they just assist people in doing what the body will do itself. So these bodies can heal themselves of anything. So we're blessed. We're in these incredible shells. This incredible experience of taste, touch, and colors, and expression. And it's just so amazing here. We're so blessed. We're so in abundance. And so if we're so in abundance, then why are we fighting and always in lack? And why? Because we're afraid that we're not going to have enough, which is a complete illusion. We're afraid of losing control. We're trying to control and label and say the world it's so fantastical here, we can't handle it. So we start putting labels, and our mind does, and then we do it to each other, and it's just, and so we try to control it and we resist it. And so anything we do, in life is a reflection of this, and it's including how we treat animals. To get back to the main question there. So when they're cruel to an animal, it's because they're cruel to themselves. And it's because they're afraid. So there could be very specific things with that individual. You know, could be some conditioning, could be some very specific things. It doesn't really matter. I mean, really, who cares? You know, somebody pounding on a puppy, I don't really particularly care why. Just stop. But, so Susan, I would say don't spend too much energy on that question. If you're spending a lot of energy or heartache on that question, or have been, it's time to put that question away, because it doesn't matter anyways. The only way you should really be asking that question is if you're being cruel to an animal. And I know you would never, you're the opposite. You're the angel of animals. So then, yes, someone might want to ask that to themselves. But you have an amazing mission, and you do so much great stuff, and you've saved so many lives and brought so much love to this world, to people and to animals. You know, focus more on that and less on their cruel behavior. But to answer it, so again, I wouldn't think about it too much, but to answer your question, they do it because the way we do everything, it's out of fear. It stems from fear. They need to feel in control. Right? That's the only reason. Why would you ever hurt? If you love yourself, you're not going to hurt anybody or anything. I don't hurt animals. I don't even hurt bugs. I release them carefully. You're not going to hurt, or you're going to do your best not to hurt living things, because you love yourself. If you wouldn't hurt yourself, you're not going to hurt other living things, because you realize you're all connected. You feel connected. So when someone's hurting, it's because they're very disconnected. And they're in a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, and so there could be a lot of stuff going on with them. But at the core, they need control. They're afraid of not being in control. And so when they hurt that animal, they feel in control. Just like when we hurt each other, it's to feel control because they're afraid. You know what I mean? The person that's beating their spouse is a very frightened individual. Whereas back in my dad's day, they used to say coward, but you know, that's a label and a judgment. But same idea though. The point is they're really the ones that are afraid. They're the ones that are afraid. They need help. Gotta have compassion. So I would say, if it helps, if you still have trouble with that, try not to harp on it, but just understand that it's because they're afraid, and feel compassion towards them. Don't just feel compassion towards the animals. Feel it towards maybe that's part of your healing. Maybe that'll be part of the waves you'll send out that'll help change the world. Send lots of compassion. That's what I see. I mean, I will get upset if I see someone hurting an animal, but I don't get mad anymore, because actually I see two suffering animals. That's what I see. Two suffering beings. Of course I'm going to protect that animal because it's helpless, but I'm going to feel, because that's what just perception, that's what I see. So maybe change your perception too, Susan. Because it's true, they're suffering too. They've probably been beaten too. Things in their life make them feel not in control. Who knows what they've been through. So of course we want to change it and stuff, but if we show compassion to everybody and accept what is and show compassion, then it helps our own journey, it helps our own understanding, it helps us make change, and it sends out waves. So that's the answer to the question. The question is fear, but don't worry too much about the question. But great question.